Hi, I'm Linda Cook,
And I'm Sharon Wren,
and this is QC Crime Watch.
where we talk about some of the crimes that have happened in the Quad City area over the past week and update you on some of the cases we're following.
And in this case, there are a couple, we are recording this on a Thursday, and there are a couple of things that are breaking right now. We do want to remind you that we are not attorneys and we cannot give any legal advice. So with that, Sharon has one of the wildest stories of 2025, and I know so far, but still, Sharon, go ahead.
This one is definitely the most interesting crime case I've written in the past 3 years. Sometime over the past couple of days, someone stole a 1,400-pound black steer from rural Whiteside County, somewhere between Morrison and Fulton. Deputies are reviewing video and talking to witnesses. Anybody who has information on the missing steer should call the Whiteside County Sheriff's Department at 815-265-7867 or the Whiteside County Crime Stoppers at 815-625-7... Oh, that is the same number, 7867. Okay. Anyway, but you can find the numbers on our website. Now, this is a weird one. It might not be isolated because one of our other stations, WCIA in Rockford, told me that they've heard reports of beef and dairy calves that are disappearing in Shelby County. That's just south of Decatur. And police think it's been happening to counties even farther in southern Illinois. So, yeah.
Holy cow. I'm trying not to make light of this. Actually, I wonder how much this animal was worth. Now, you and I have both covered figures.
Right.
So we're a little bit familiar with how much a steer, a champion
Grand
steer,
champion.
right, can be worth, or bred,
Yeah.
right? You would want this animal to breed other cattle.
Right.
So with the meat alone, I'm wondering how much that would be worth, let alone the animal itself, because
The
we don't have
hide.
details on that, on exactly what this animal is valued at, right? So this, obviously takes me back to the turn of the century, not this century, but the last one, when you hear about cattle rustling.
Cattle
right?
rustling.
But that is a real thing, and I'm wondering if more than one person might be involved.
Well, that's not a crime of impulse. You don't just go, there's a 1,400-pound steer, I'm going to throw it in the back of my Kia. No, you need a trailer. An enclosed trailer, because you can't have one of the open ones because the cow could fall off. And how do you strap down a cow?
Right, exactly. Now my question is, if you don't want to keep the animal alive, you'd have to butcher this animal,
Right.
and I think it has to be done pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's not the kind of thing you want to let sit.
Right. So this is a crime that is so wild, it begs more questions than it answers. But you're going to stay on top of this one, obviously.
Yes, actually, the person from the Rockford station who told me about this said, what do you people have down there? Just a renegade butcher? Go to the farmers markets? I'm like, who knows?
But we can't say no, even though that sounds kind of odd. But
it's a weird world.
It's a weird world, and people will steal anything, and your story proves that.
Yep, and we're following it.
Yeah, and so are the law enforcement officials,
because
too.
this could be thousands of dollars. Plus, this family has lost one of their livestock.
Right. Now, if you're going to keep an animal like this alive, feed is involved,
Yes.
right, and a place to put it. So I wonder about that, too.
Yeah, you don't really just run to Heidi and get cattle food.
No.
No. Don't let them
So-
sleep on the couch.
So this is just the beginning of a
Very weird
crime
story.
and a mystery that will
Yes.
continue for a while,
Right.
probably. Let's see, what time? It's what, about 3:30 now ish.
Yeah, ish.
So today is Thursday, and Adriana Blake has been sentenced on some charges, not all of them, to life in prison without parole. This is for the murder charges she faced.
And we talked about her in an earlier podcast.
Right, let's go back a little bit and talk about that
Yeah.
and refresh our memories and
Right.
memories of people nice enough to watch and listen. This is in 2024.
January, I
In
think.
January, the very beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And we heard, I remember we were talking about this, we heard a fire call on Division Street. And when it was a house fire,
Yeah.
a structure fire. When officials got there, they found 2 bodies. Now, that would appear to be perhaps from smoke inhalation or the flames,
Right.
but once the autopsies were completed, it was discovered that this was a homicide case.
There was no smoke in their lungs, so
Right.
they were already dead before the fire.
So this went on for quite some time. Adriana Blake is one of 2 people who were accused in this, and her case now, today, on this Thursday, involved victim statements, I believe.
Know that you're an entitled, disgusting human being and you will never realize the effects of your actions. However, I will have a little bit of peace knowing that you are going to be rotting away. I asked the court to give her life in prison without the possibility of parole.
And I was not in the courtroom, but one of our colleagues was. So we do know that she faced multiple charges,
Right.
but among them were murder charges,
Right.
and that's what the life without parole was. She has been sentenced to other charges, but please see the story that we will update on ourquadcities.com to learn more. This is one of those stories where the crime was disguised to look as something
Right.
that it wasn't.
And that's why you have investigators go in there and work so carefully.
Right, and that's with the environment and the autopsies, but autopsies can tell you an awful lot.
Right. Well, we have a gentleman from Davenport who was arrested after police say he threatened his ex-wife and police officers with a gun.
Oh dear.
Yep.
This was a standoff, was it not?
Oh, yeah, it was.
Tell me about the scene. Tell me what
Alright.
happened.
Scott County Emergency Communications Center got a 911 call on August 25th about 7:30 at night and heard a man and woman arguing. The location, because that can come up, was in the 800 block of Hillside Drive in Bettendorf. So police went and learned that the man, identified as, and I do hope I'm not mispronouncing it, Dana Reese Lawless, age 37, was the ex-husband of the woman in the argument. A press release from Bettendorf PD says that Mr. Lawless allegedly went into the home with a gun, took his ex-wife's keys, threatened her with the gun, and then threatened to shoot officers. Oh, wait, there's more.
Okay. Now, as I understand it, because I got a tip from a friend of mine, and this was quite an active scene. There was an armored vehicle there, correct?
Let's see. Units from the Iowa State Patrol, Scott County Sheriff's Office, Davenport PD, Bettendorf's Emergency Response Unit, the Negotiations Team, and armored rescue vehicles from Davenport and Bettendorf PDs.
Oh dear.
Well, there was a reason. It seems that there were 4 children in the house at the time of the incident, ages 4, 5, 6, and 7. The ex-wife was able to escape, but the kids were still inside. Officers were able to rescue 3 of the children about 9:40 p.m., a couple hours into it, and then Lawless left the house a short time later carrying the 4th child and surrendered to police. Now, police later found the gun under a dresser. It was reported stolen out of Davenport. Mr. Lawless is not supposed to have a gun because of a felony conviction in 2010.
Okay,
So
so
this
that's
was-
a felon with a firearm.
Right, so it's not like you were just convicted last week, I forgot I'm not supposed to have this, it's been 15 years.
Okay.
So Mr. Lawless now faces these charges. I'm gonna have to read it.
Okay.
14 felony counts of violating a no-contact order, 4 felony counts of child endangerment, felony count of felon in possession of a firearm, felony count of intimidation with a dangerous weapon, felony count of assault while displaying a weapon, felony count of trafficking stolen weapons, felony count of assault while displaying a dangerous weapon, felony count of assault in violation of a no-contact order. And Mr. Lawless is in the Scott County Jail and has a hearing on September 5th. Oh my.
We'll be following up on that one, correct?
Oh yes, because one of our photographers heard the police call the evening that this happened, went out, and he came back telling us there's bearcats and there's squads, and it's like we knew something was going down. That wasn't somebody you're picking up for shoplifting.
That's right.
And with the children, that explains the negotiations units and the bearcats, and fortunately no one was hurt.
And this could have been
Horrible.
a terrible scene.
Right.
So I give credit to I imagine there were family and friends involved in talking to this man, but also negotiators
Right.
who know how to calm people down and reason with them
And kind of keep control of the situation, not let it get away from them.
Right, that's incredible. That's an incredible skill to have.
Yeah.
Sharon and I have kind of an unusual one that happened, well, in Wednesday actually, when a Bettendorf man was in custody after a report of gunfire at a motel. The 56-year-old Tommy Valentine Jr. faces charges of dominion or control of a firearm, offensive weapon by a felon, and reckless use of a firearm, property damage. This is according to Scott County affidavits.
Okay.
So shortly after 2 p.m. Wednesday, dispatchers at the Scott County Communication Center got a call, a 911 call, about something, a noise. It was either a firecracker or gunfire. So, of course, officers were discharged, or dispatched,
As they would.
to the City Center Motel, which is on State Street in Bettendorf. And I will take this from the affidavits here. Officers saw a suspect in the area clutching his waistband and going into a room. And this is a direct quote. Officers interviewed witnesses who stated that the man had fired a small black handgun, apologized, and gone back to a room.
Bang, bang, I'm sorry.
I'm
went
sorry,
back to work.
yes.
Okay.
So, affidavits say officers found Valentine in the motel room, and they also found a fired handgun round near the door and a loaded small handgun hidden in the room. So, according to affidavits, Valentine had an unrelated warrant for his arrest, so he was arrested and taken to Scott County Jail. It appears Valentine was alone in the room when he fired the gun. No one was hurt. An investigation determined that Valentine shot the threshold of the door, causing damage to the entryway of the room, according to affidavits. The investigation is ongoing. I see your questions, I can read them in your eyes, but I honestly do not know the motivation or exactly what, I should say why this happened. So we'll stay on top of this too.
Well, yeah, I mean, not too many people sneak in over the threshold.
No,
Yeah.
but it's, I don't know.
Okay.
The one that we worked on together, we had a big story that continues.
Right. And will continue.
And will continue for some time, is the story of a man who's been indicted for the death of Trudy Appleby. And that story is 29 years old. 29 years ago, this little girl went missing.
She was 9, wasn't she?
I think she's a little bit older than that.
Okay,
10, maybe
9 or
10 or
10.
11. Anyway,
Very
she's a little
young.
girl. And Fisher was among 3 people who had been persons of interest, we'll say, not suspects. But he is the only one left alive of those 3. Now, he is facing charges that are completely unrelated to the Trudy Appleby disappearance. So he is in Scott County Jail at the moment, and he has signed arraignment papers. And arraignment is where you appear and you're ready, what are the charges against me, and do I plead guilty or innocent?
Yeah.
So that happened today, and we haven't been able to get hold of the documents. I was in court, but since he did not appear in court today, nothing happened that I could report on.
Right.
So this continues. He's still in Scott County Jail as of Thursday, but he also refused to waive extradition to Henry County, where the murder charges are filed against him.
And this is an interesting case because not only are these 2 cases in 2 different counties, they're in 2 different states.
Right. So this is going to proceed slowly. We will continue to pursue documents in both counties and states,
Okay.
so that we can tell you the story as we go
And
along.
keep you updated
Mhm.
with everything.
Mhm.
And I think that's it for this week.
I think so. We have had
It's
kind
been
of
today.
it's been a wild week, and this is
Yeah.
only Thursday. But we'll do this again next week and keep you apprised of what's going on in the Quad Cities. And meanwhile, please lock your doors, lock your cars.
Your house, everything.
Mhm.
We don't want to write about what happens at your house.
No, thank you.